Why true love is rare. I'm not going to say that true love doesn't exist. I'm going to say it's rare. Um, well, first of all, what is true love, right? I would say a really good definition of love is found in the Bible, New Testament, First Corinthians. I believe it's chapter 13. Love is kind, love is not jealous, love does not think of itself first, right? Love is patient, love is, love does not take account of evil, all these things, right? You can go read that definition and, you know, sort of get a feel of what it is. Essentially, real love is not selfish. It's not, it's a giving love. It's a selfless kind of love, right? I would say one of the best examples of real love or true love is probably the way a parent views their child, right? They'll probably die for that child, you know, and they love that child despite that child's faults. They're, I would say most parents' love for their children is unconditional, and it's unfortunate when parents have conditional love, where like, oh, you got to get good grades, or else I don't care about you as much, or you got to be successful, or I don't care about you as much. It's um, those type of conditions on love is a sad thing for a parent to have to a child. But yet, when it comes to a man and a woman, those things absolutely exist, right? And usually it's from the woman to the man. The woman has lots of standards on the man, and today's men oftentimes have to forfeit our standards. We often have to, forego our standards, put our standards aside because we're in such a scarcity mindset that a lot of times we just take what we can get. Now, a lot of women have developed a strategy in that sense where, instead of being like the other girls, we're like, oh, these girls are so bitchy and they're so prissy and they're so, they're mean and they walk around like, their pussy is made out of gold. A lot of women have developed a strategy to be different than that, right? They developed a strategy to, I'm going to be opposite of that because I'm going to use the opposite strategy to attract the type of men that I want. So what a lot of women have, and women do this either way. Like either way, women are utilizing the fact that modern men put women on a pedestal to get what they want out of men, and they're essentially bartering or making deals with sexuality, with their own intimacy, right? The prize is her pussy. The prize is her intimacy, and I've said this in millions of my videos. This is the prize. Her vagina is the prize, right? So this is a modern strategy. Now, a lot of women take the opposite strategy. They say, you know what? I am not going to walk around like my shit doesn't stink. I'm going to be amiable. I'm going to be kind. I'm going to be nice and shy. And I'm going to use that as a strategy because, guys fall in love with that type of girl because guys don't like bitches. But yet today's women, if they're hot enough, can easily get away with being a bitch. Easily. Now, of course, it depends on how toxic she is. If she's just spewing hatred everywhere she goes, and some women do. Some women are just so disrespectful, so immature. They've never grown up in their mentality and their emotions that they're literally walking bags of toxic. I've seen women like many women like that who just really are so solipsistic, so selfish, so narcissistic that they really just have very poor character, have very poor personalities, and they really just live and coast off the fact that they're hot. And if they weren't hot, it's very arguable if they would be able to act like that. Now, most women really can act however they want because there really is no social standards or checks and balances for the way women behave. The only thing that really keeps them in check is their environment and their financial limitations, and then of course their familial limitations, such as, oh, I got kids to take care of, I got a husband and family, I got, so they're limited by those things. So their solipsism, their narcissism, a lot of times is kept in check. Okay, but as far as society as a whole goes, there's really no checks and balances for women. There is for men. Men can't walk around acting however we want. We'll get called on the carpet by other men. We'll get called on the carpet by our employers and things like that. Women have successfully developed this caveat, this, kind of, how do I put it? This kind of soft spot where they get away with things, and they get away with it in the court system. They get away with it in, school system, the law system, like I said, the court system, the divorce courts, etc. Women are getting away with a lot, and they know this. They know this better than anyone. They know, because, oh, I'm a female. They walk around with this sense of impunity, and like the Bible says, childbearing, sort of matures them. They do get somewhat mature when they have kids, because they're forced to. Right? They're forced to, but a lot of them don't, and a lot of them still carry on their bullshit into parenthood. But a lot of them develop this kind of like, I'm going to be different, I'm going to be kind, I'm going to be nice, and I'm going to be shy and coy, and I'm not going to be a bitch, I'm not going to be like the other girls. And this is deadly, and it's actually more deadly than the other thing, which is, women walking around with impunity because they know guys want them, because they know guys want pussy. It's deadly for a woman to, be shy, be unassuming, be kind, be nice, because that's the kind of girl that guys really want, because most girls aren't like that, right? So if a girl's acting like that, then, oh gosh, she must be so special, she must be like this. But they don't realize that that's probably a ploy. That's probably just sort of a forced behavior that she's put on herself in order to get what she wants out of life. And it does. It helps them get what they want. This being kind, shy, unassuming, that's a kind of seduction. I would advise people to read, Robert Greene, I believe his name is, Robert Greene. He wrote a book called The Art of Seduction, and then he wrote a bunch of other books, along those lines about seduction, how to seduce, how to be a seducer, and things like that. And it's very eye-opening. It's very awakening for this type of personality. And everything that glitters ain't gold. Everything that smiles and is kind to you, to your face, is not necessarily like that at its core. I had to learn that the hard way. But it's a type of seduction. It's a type of strategy, seducing strategy to get what you want. Be amiable, be kind, you should study that. You should study the 50 laws of power, and you will find there's you'll learn a lot more about female nature if you do that, because they adhere to some of these things. So why do I bring that up in the context of, does true love really exist, right? Well, because women are plotters. Women are strategists, right? Women are, and I mean, humans are. We're all plotting and strategizing, right? But when it comes to love, I think men take an altruistic outlook. Men take a egalitarian outlook a lot of times. Very blue-pilled outlook that true love exists, right? We can find it, blah, blah, blah. But then when you sort of move along and get older, and you get wiser, and you have a lot of experiences with dating, a lot of experiences with women, and you're also observing a lot of marriages and things like that, what you really see is men trying to please women, right? And that's a blue pill, that in of itself is blue pilled. But men, there's a lot of blue pilled men out there, and I mean all over the world. I don't mean just liberal America, right? I don't mean just all over the world. And chivalry is really not dead. It really isn't dead. Chivalry is a part of being blue pilled. Chivalry is a part of this whole modern blue pill movement, right? Which is make the woman happy kind of attitude, kind of behavior. Make the woman happy, right? And again, what does that have to do with true love, right? Well, as I was saying earlier, what is true? What is true love? Does true love have anything to do with? Is true love? Planned? Is it part of a culture? Is it part of it really doesn't fit into any of that. True love is it kind of just stands on its own feet, right? So when you start to get into a culture, when you start to get into something that's planned out, such as like marriage or relationships and things like that, you lose the spontaneity that's necessary to have true love, right? So when you're, for instance, when you're entering into, say, a online dating site, right? Well, you can't just put, I'm just looking for true love, whatever happens, happens. You have to put, what are you looking for? What type of relationship are you looking for? What type of person are you looking for? And everything is like compartmentalized, right? Well, and I sigh there because it really kills love. It really kills real love when you put all these standards, and everybody has standards, men and women. I would say especially women, but men and women have standards. Right, we all have some standards. We don't want a bummy person. We don't want a person who smells all the time. We don't want a person who has bad hygiene. We don't want a person who is, practicing detrimental habits or whatever, right? Whatever they may be. So it gets weird because it's like, can we really say that we love somebody? I mean, we love somebody, but we love the way they benefit us. We love in a selfish way, right? So if I love somebody because she's gorgeous and she's always nice to me, and she puts me on a pedestal and always tells me she loves me, it's easy to love someone like that. What if you were with somebody who didn't do the things that made you happy? What if you were with somebody who made you sad? Or what if you were with somebody, That's when the real test of love comes in, And then of course it becomes a matter of how much can you deal with? How much should you deal with? And what exactly is in question? Is the person doing something that is detrimental to themselves? Are they self-destructive? Are they abusive? Right? These kind of things have to come in. Okay. But with that said, we live in a time where everything is excessive. People don't just want $1 million anymore. They want $20 million. People don't just want a nice house to live in. They want a mansion. People don't just want a nice car. They want the souped up version, amazing, details to the car. They want the best car available. They want the best everything, right? The best, right? This is modern. These are modern issues, right? Everything in the last 150 years that has led up to this it has been major changes because back in the before 1900, right? People just were lucky to stay alive past 35. They were happy to have a nice meal in their stomach. You know what I mean? It's like we are so absolutely spoiled in this generation. And this is why I think why relationships are really struggling. It's a major reason why relationships don't work out. It's a major reason why divorce happens. It's a major, because people are never happy. They can never be satisfied with what they have because we have this insanely greedy society, this insanely, a society that is clamoring and fighting tooth and nail to have excess, to have more than they need, more. I like nice things. I like nice cars. I like nice houses. I like a lot of money. It's like we all like those things. But the question is will we really be satisfied? I like that word satisfied. It's a better word than happy, because happiness comes and goes. Happiness is very fleeting, but satisfaction is more long term, right? Satisfaction is more concrete. What do we need to be satisfied? It's an interesting thing to bring up, particularly in the concept of love, because love is about satisfaction, but I wouldn't say it's a selfish satisfaction. If I loved a woman who was so gorgeous, and I don't think I could love a woman who the main thing that she brought to the table was just her looks, and she was just so gorgeous. I don't think I could love someone like that, because it's like I would be excited, I would be titillated, I would be turned on. I would be like, as far as that goes, like that would be satisfying as far as like my penis is concerned, right? As far as lust is concerned, right? But when it comes to like love, I don't know if I could love somebody just because she's beautiful, just because she's pretty. But yet, if you flip that and then you say, well, there's so many women who are chasing men just because they're successful, and it's like that's kind of the equivalent, right? Because men are successful, women are pretty. What do women bring to the table 9 times out of 10? Men don't care about what a woman does for her career or her work. Women care about that. Men don't care about that. All men care about is women. All men care about is loving a woman and having a woman love us, and that's all we really want. That's all we really ever wanted. Now, yes, you have men who care about sex, and there's men who are just trying to get a nut. Like, we all got a dick, and we all, kind of have that proclivity where we just want to have sex. That's true. There's a part of us but men, we want love from a woman. We want intimacy. We want to be with a woman, right? So that's what we're looking for. And we want, we like pretty women and things like that, but that's not, for women to say that all men care about is sex and all men care about is like a hot woman and a hot body, that's so not true. I've lowered my standards many times. I know many men who have lowered their standards. We just want love. We want somebody who's cute, who's attractive, and we want somebody who's good enough in bed, and that's about it. Our standards are pretty low compared to women's standards, right? And many men will overlook a lot of that, which is pretty much the baseline for true love. Many men will overlook a woman who's not as attractive as other women, a woman who might not be as in shape as other women, a woman who might not dress as good as other women. Many men will overlook that. And again, we don't really care what you do for work. We really don't care that much. As long as like you're kind of happy with what you do for work, as long as like you're not miserable, like you're working at some checkout person or something, like some minimum wage dead end job is going nowhere, like because that would make you unhappy, and we don't want an unhappy, and it would make you stressed out, and then you would come home and you would be, probably you would behave based on that, right? Your attitude and your personality would be affected by that. So that might be an issue for some guys, but even then, most guys probably wouldn't care that much, because women are the prize. They really are, and what do men want? Men want women. right? What makes men happy is usually either success, or their own legacy, or women, and women are part of that. Women are a key, if not the cornerstone, of a man's life, as far as his legacy, as far as his the entire spectrum of his happiness and purpose is concerned. Women are an integral part. I mean, a crucial part. I mean, quintessential part, the cornerstone, I would say. And anybody who says that, who says that's not true is in denial, or just really doesn't understand their own nature. Men, that's how intrinsic women are to men, which is why women should have more of a, responsibility to really love men, because we really love women that much. And which is why feminism is such an evil lie. It's such an evil, evil lie, because it tells women that men really just want to rule over them. Maybe some men do, maybe some evil men, but most men who really love women, they don't want to do that. They want to protect and provide, and they just want to love their woman. They want to have a good life with the woman who loves them. But here's the thing, as I said before, what would be the equivalent to a man wanting? What would be the female equivalent to a man wanting a woman who has nice body, very sexy? What would be the female equivalent to that? Well, the female equivalent to that would be a man having a great career, because it's not the same when it comes to what attracts men and women. Men are content to be attracted to a woman who is decent looking, amiable, fun, kind, maybe a little shy, maybe a little submissive, and very feminine. That's all. That's what men are attracted to. What are women attracted to? Success, resources, money. Sorry, it's just what it is. And in addition to that, women are attracted to a man's physical. So not only do we have to be physically attractive as a man, we have to have resources. We have to be successful. We have to have a nice job. We have to be able to provide and protect and care for our women. And this is what female nature demands of men. So the demand is much higher on men than it is for women, right? It just is. No man is demanding that a woman have a college degree. We don't care, because it's expected of us to take care of a woman. The burden is on our back, not on a woman's back, right? So, well, right there, there's a huge discrepancy, and that's the core discrepancy of the whole thing. So when we say, does true love exist? Well, how could it, if we have these outward standards to fulfill? How could true love exist if we have to have money in order for a woman to love us in the first place? If we have to have money in order for a woman to be attracted to us, how could true love exist? I think love exists, sure. When a woman marries a man and they move in together, and he's paying the bills and he's got his shit together, and he's successful and he's the best she could get, sure, she loves him in that scenario. But if he loses his job, if he makes less money, if he stops being the guy who she knew, meaning he somehow changed or whatever, and this is very common. People change. People start to act different. People behave different. People have different hobbies. It just happens. People change over the course of their life. And if that happens and she says, oh, you know what, you no longer make the type of money you used to make, or you're this or you're that, or you changed or whatever, and she decides to divorce him, well, you'd have to question, is love really real? Because what is love? Love should be a lifetime thing. Parents don't stop loving their children, right? It's not like, oh, well, you became a drug addict, so I don't love you anymore. It's like, I love you more. I need to love you more because I care about you, and I don't want you to ruin yourself because I love you. But what would a woman do if a man became a drug addict? Would her love cause her to just suffer through, or would she just say, oh, this one's defective, I got to find another one. This one went bad, I gotta get out and find another one. Like, what is that? the opposite of love. Like I've never understood why people say that. Why they say, they get into this marriage and they say, I love my husband or wife. Like, I don't think you do. I think you love what they do for you. I think you love the situation that you're in with them. Because if you did love your significant other, why would you divorce them, right? Why would you, oh, he changed, so therefore I don't want to be with him anymore, and he's different now, or we've grown apart, or like, what is that? Like, you love your kid when he's into rock and roll, you love your kid when he's into rap music, you love your kid when he wants to play basketball, you love your kid when he wants to get into music, you love him through all his seasons, you love him through all his ups and downs, right? But a relationship is not like this. A relationship is contingent on you being a winner, on you being successful, on you making them feel how you've always made them feel. And once you stop making them feel that way, all of a sudden they want to divorce you, or all of a sudden they don't want to be with you anymore. It's like, how is that love? It's a weird thing. I think that modern society doesn't really understand what love is. I think that modern society really doesn't understand the word love. They don't understand how to love. They don't. I don't know if they've ever been loved themselves. I think that selfishness, particularly in America, selfishness is just, it's the opposite of love. Like, you can't be selfish. You can't, if you love someone in a selfish way, like you selfishly love someone, like, I love this person, like, that's just selfish. Like, you love this person because of what they do for you, not just because you love that person. You might love that person for who they are, but who they are is part of what they do for you. Like, oh, this person's so cool, or this or this or the. It's like, I still rather have somebody love me for like my personality and my character than for my outward successes and all the things that I have. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's part of friendship. Like, if what is it? Charlie Brown said, Charles Schultz wrote a Charlie Brown comic that said, friends are people who know your faults and like you anyways. And that's what a real love relationship should be. Somebody who knows all your faults and loves you anyways. But I don't see that. I don't see that type of relationship. What I see a lot of arrangements. That's what I see. I see somebody who's like, okay, well, I make this amount of money, you make this amount of money, we can make this work. You know what I mean? It's like, I get it. We need to have a place to live, we need to have food, we need to have a way to go on and things like that. That's important. But at the same time, like, if I love somebody and I didn't have enough money to afford them, I don't know what you call that. That's not love. Like, oh, okay, well, I love you, but you don't make a lot of money, so I'm gonna go marry this other guy. I love you, but you're not like this, or I don't think it's gonna work out because you're acting this way. Or it's like, it just doesn't. The way women are to men today is just, it doesn't make any sense. It's like, it's just very selfish. It's like, what can you do for me? And then if you do these things, then I'll love you. It's like so conditional, and it's so just, it's backwards. It's not even like, oh, okay, you make a certain amount of money, you're successful, you're good looking enough, you're this, you're that, and you know what? That's good. I think I'll love you. I think I'll decide to love you. It's like, what? Yes, attraction is normal. It's normal and okay to be attracted to someone, but at the same time, if their career comes into question, or whether or not you're going to be with them for the rest of their life, it's like, I don't. It's weird to me, because it's like, well, they could get fired. They could lose their job. Then what are you going to do? They could lose their house. Then what are you going to do? Are you going to divorce them and find somebody who's got another house? It's just weird. It's like, and parents encourage it. Parents are like, you need to marry somebody who's got their stuff together. You can't be with a guy who, it's like, it's weird to me. It's weird. I don't know. But I also think it's part of female nature. You know, female nature is like, I need to have kids. I want to have kids. I need somebody who's got, you know,